This book is called The Path to Complete Enlightenment. We will start from the beginning. This is the first page. The first page has the content. The topic, I think the topic is great. It starts from chapter 1, 2, 3, so it's go by different steps.
So basically, this book has 20 chapters. So it goes from like understanding the fundamentals of like what is Heavenly Tao, why actually it's so important to understand the widespread propagation of the Heavenly Tao in this current era as well, which is chapter 2. 3, it's like our immense fortune to be able to receive Heavenly Tao, because not everybody can receive as well. Chapter 4 is like the 3 heavenly treasures. 5 is on the creed of Tao cultivation. 6, the practices in Tao cultivation. And chapter 7 will be how to progress after receiving the heavenly Tao. For chapter 8, it's more about our internal self, whereby how to cultivate ourselves. Chapter 9 will be like awakening from an illusory kind of life. Chapter 10, cultivating of Tao through establishing goals, accumulating merits, and fulfilling our aspirations. Chapter 11 is introduction to the heavenly Tao. Chapter 12 on the 3 realizations in Tao cultivation. Chapter 13, the 3 essentials of Tao. 14 will be like the 3 facts of Tao, and 15 will be the 3 elements of Tao. 16 on the 3 significances of Tao. 17 will be to reduce the karmic debts and escape from calamities. 18 will be the fundamental criteria in Tao cultivation. 19, the 10 great aspirations, and 20 is to cultivate Tao with a clear conscience.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca Tienshin, for reading all this chapter title. And I think the chapter title, it sounds all wonderful, right? Hope you love it very much. And yeah, so each chapter, it's very, it takes some time for us to dive into it. So let's dive into the first, let's dive into the introduction of this book. Before, so we hope to do chapter 1, but before chapter 1, let's do the foreword, because it allows us to understand the background of this book.
This is the foreword. There is a saying that goes, reading enables one to access a vast sea of knowledge. If one does not read for a day, one will be ignorant of knowledge. In the early years of Tao development in Singapore, there was a lack of suitable Tao publications for Tao kins. Tao books then brought over from Taiwan were way beyond the language proficiency of many Singapore-based Tao kins to understand.
We are talking about 1970 or 1980. Back then, the people in Singapore, most of them are immigrants from Taiwan and China. So their proficiency level is plain Mandarin. They don't read the ancient literature. Even the books that behind me, it has, well, I mean, we have a lot of books here, but let's say my husband cannot read it because his level is like elementary school. He came to USA when he was elementary school level 6th grade. So it takes somebody who has like college level to understand the ancient texts such as Tao Te Ching, Confucius, and the like. So back then, the Singapore people, the young people, do not understand this kind of literature. So that's why they say the book that's brought from Taiwan was beyond the language proficiency of many Singapore-based Tao king to understand.
There was a compelling need to produce a suitable Tao book for Singaporean Tao kins. Chu Qianren and Lin Qianren, who were aware of the Chinese language proficiency gap in Singapore, conceived the idea of producing an easy-to-read Tao book to enable Singapore-based Tao kins to advance their Tao knowledge. Despite their busy schedules and Tao commitments, they spent days and nights to painstakingly compile a Tao book. Their foresight and determination led to the completion of this Tao book in 1974. Upon completion, both of them brought the book to seek permission from Yuan then known as Lu Qianren, to share with Singapore-based Tao Kings.
We understand the background. The book was compiled by Qiu Qianren and Lin Qianren. And then there's another person is mentioned, who is Yuanjue Dadi, then was known as Lu Qianren. So this happened in 1974. So Hojue is trying to pull out the document that has our ritual. And in the end of our ritual, it mentioned our Qianren. So this is the daily ritual, but daily ritual which we start from 明明上帝十叩首 and then 天地君君师九叩首 and then we continue on all the way down to the bottom, right? So in the end, we will call all this Qianren's name. Who is 潘公道长、陈老前人、徐老前人、韩老前人、显化大帝、圆觉大帝。So this is 圆觉大帝 and then this is 陈前人。I'm sorry, this is 圆觉大帝 and then in the book, 邱前人 was mentioned and then 林前人 was mentioned. So you can see that so this three person was mentioned. 显化大帝、邱前人 and then 林前人 was mentioned. So this were the three person mentioned. 邱前人 and then 林前人 was mentioned. They were the 后学 of 圆觉大帝. So keep in mind these two person, 邱前人 and 林前人 were the 后学. So when they compile the book and when they want to present to the Tao environment, of course they have to ask their master or their Qianren's approval. And who was their Qianren? It was Yuanjue Dadi. But Yuanjue Dadi back then was named Lu Qianren. Lu Qianren, so this is the name for Lu Qianren. Hojue make this slide. So Yuanjue Dadi is also, Yuanjue Dadi, that is his heavenly title. And this title was given by Lao Mu. So that was afterward. But before, when he was a child, when he was given, was born by his parents, his mom named him Lü Shugen. That's the middle one here. Yeah. So his name is Lü Shugen. So his last name is Lü. It's spelled as L-U. But later on, when he became a master or a Qianren, we call him Lü Qianren. So when we talk about him, he has many names because just like Senior Master Li, we call him Senior Master Li. But do you know his Chinese name? So that's why, so in the Tao environment, we call people different names. Yeah. So that was the background. So now we understand Yuanjue Dadi. That was his title. But he was not, nobody know his name was Yuanjue Dadi until he passed a few years later. But because this name was given by Lao Mu. So while he was still alive in the Tao environment, what do people call him? People call him Lü Qianren. Okay, now we continue. And Peter, please.
Yuanjue Dadi was delighted and jokingly said, "Moral books are usually produced by the sages. What have two of you produced?" After he had thoroughly read the book, he gave his affirmation. The content is rather easy to understand. It is very suitable for new Tao kins to read. Good, good, good. Both of them revered, both of them reverently requested Yuan Jue Dadi to give the new Tao book a title. Yuan Jue Dadi pondered for a while and said, the book can be entitled Yuan Jue Qian Yan.
Continue.
To save on printing cost, Chu Qianren and Lin Qianren copied their manuscripts onto stencils for printing using cyclo-styling machine and stapled them into a book. The first Tao book was then successfully published in Singapore. This Tao book was produced with the needs of Singapore-based Baoguan Jiande Tao kins in mind. It aims to lay a solid foundation for Tao kins to have a meaningful and fulfilling Tao cultivation. The insights gained from the book would encourage Tao kins to advance their Tao cultivation by establishing their merits and virtues to uplift their character. The solid foundation can lead them to gain wisdom and have a better understanding of Tao.
Thank you, Peter. So here I want to highlight to you that this it mentioned that Yuan Jue Dadi liked the book very much, so he named the book Yuan Jue Qian Yan. But back then, he did not know his name is going to bestow as Yuan Jue Dadi or Yuan Jue. So the keyword is Yuan Jue. Nobody know that he was going to be named the holy title name as Yuan Jue, but he just miraculously named this book as Yuan Jue. Okay, now let's continue.
In 1989, our Heavenly Mother bestowed honors on the late Lu Qianren, the heavenly title of Yuan Jue Dadi. It is important for us to understand the significance and synchronicity between Lu Qianren's heavenly title and the title of this very first Tao book in Singapore, which he had given its name. All in all, this is a much cherished Tao book of immense significance to all of us.
Thank you, Peter. So while you are reading this paragraph, do you understand what's the name for Yuan Jue?
No.
Can you explain?
Um,
Because when Yuan Jue Dadi, when he was, let's call Lu Qianren, when he was alive, so he named this book Yuan Jue Qian Yan. But after he passed, Lao Mu bestowed a name, the same exact name. Have you heard of this before? Yeah, Hoxue did not understand, but now Hoxue read this book, I say, oh, okay, now Hoxue understands the history behind it. It's just like you publish a book, and then you name this book this title, but you feel that this title is good. And the title is called Yuan Jue. But then after you pass, somebody, Lao Mu bestow you a heavenly name, and that name is Yuan Jue. So that was so that's why it's there's a significance and synchronicity between the heavenly title and the title of the book. Okay, now we can now we understand the background for this book. Now let's continue on chapter 1. So Yuan Jue Dadi is our beloved, very respectful Qianren in our Baoguang Jiande line. Every year, when we go back to Taiwan, we must go to his place to give him commemoration, to like do some ritual worship, to tell to I remember Senior Master Lee always guide us to, and Junior Master Lee to take us in a group to kneel and bow in front of Yuanjue Dadi and to tell him specifically that Senior Master Lee, we all come back as a group from Tienshin Temple, and this is how we are doing in this past year, and please continue to bless us for the coming year. So that's how significant he is for our 宝光建德 Dao environment.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you mean that you go to visit his grave?
Yeah, visit his grave.
Taiwan?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't just visit his grave. We visit many on a grave. We visit the grave from 显化大帝、圆觉大帝, and then there was Qiu Qianren, Si Qianren, Lin Qianren's grave too. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I remember. Every year, it's a routine destination that we must go. Yeah. But that place is beautiful. It's sitting in the middle of the forest. There is it's next to Guanyin. It's next to the Guoguang Guanyin Yan. It's a beautiful place. It has lake. It has beautiful mountain, beautiful scenery, and very good food. It's a perfect place for meditation, Tao cultivation, and maybe spend the rest of your life in there. Anyway, so every year when we go back to Taiwan, we not only worship Yuanjue Dadi, we also pay respect to 显化大帝 as well as 四千人、林千人 and 秋千人 too. Okay, now we will continue. Do we want to share anything on this paragraph? Do you know anything you want to say?
Well, this talks about like the life of the first Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, kind of followed this path that he renounced to his royal status, the wealth, luxuries, and family life, so that he could search for the path of truth, of Tao.
Yeah, so this can also speak to us too, right? Because everybody have certain status, wealth, luxury, and renounce family. Some people, I mean, most of us, it's very difficult for us to renounce their family life. And Shakyamuni Buddha did it. It's very difficult. But thank God we are in this Tao environment. We don't need to renounce our family life, and yet we can still cultivate Tao. Yeah. So while Hoxue is reading this, one thing that caught Hoxue's eyes is that we gradually lost sight of our way back to heaven, because it just take maybe, because when we are based on the book, we originally come from heaven, and then we in our first reincarnation, we have been in reincarnation maybe 100 times, but just it takes one reincarnation to get lost, and once you get lost, it's very difficult to come back. Because imagine if you are lost in the forest, and if you are lost and if you cannot find your way back, that's it. Right? So not to mention that we are already here more than 10 times, 100 times. Yeah. Do you remember Professor Sherry? She say, based on she went to see she has some people that she worked with, and they can calculate her past life. So from the beginning to now, she has already reincarnated 90 some time. That's very close to 100 times. So it just takes one time to get lost, and then you are lost. So imagine each time is like how many years is our lifetime? How should calculate each lifetime is 50 years? Because back then people's life is short-lived. Nowadays people's life it's longer. So back then people sometimes kids are born and they die. So I say average. So 50. So if each life is 50 years times 100, so that's 5,000 years. And she mentioned one thing that I remember. She mentioned that one time she was in Mars. So this is what her psychic say. Anyway, she's close to Sherry. So she's close to my age. So if she's been here for almost 100 times, I will assume that everybody is about that time too. Okay, so yeah, so it's important to find our way back, and I'm so glad that I don't know what happened to my previous life, but in this life, Hoshe kind of steer the steering wheel back to the track of Tao. So Hoshe find it very fortunate. Okay, so if we don't find our way back, we will just continue get lost, and then who knows what's going to happen in the next life. We will just continue to be recycle. So in the old time, let's say 100 years ago, in order to receive heavenly Tao, it's very difficult because it's very difficult. It takes affinity to receive Tao. You need to have the right place. You have to be in the right place. Have to be there in the right time and meet the right people. Mm-hmm. So having these three conditions, it's not easy. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. I have a question.
There is a saying, Tao is the most supreme in heaven and on earth. Confucius said, if a man hears of Tao in the morning, he may die in the evening without regret. These are evidences on the preciousness of Tao.
I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So Tao is the most supreme in heaven and earth. How comfortable do we feel this when we say Tao is the most supreme in heaven and earth? Because when we talk to this, when we propagate Tao to the Westerner or to say the Catholic or the Christian, I think this is a more it's very it's too strong. This is statement. Tao is the most supreme. We can actually only feel that I can say that Tao is. How can we rephrase this line that is more acceptable to the American here? That's what I'm saying. It's yesterday I went to the gym. There was one Caucasian told me that you believe in God? Yes, I say I believe in God. God. I say later on I realized he's a Christian, a very dogmatic Christian. He say, do you believe in God? I say, yes, I believe in God. There's God inside of us, and we are a small God, and there's a bigger God outside of us. And he said, do you believe in Buddha? I said, yeah, I believe in Buddha. You believe in Jesus? Yes, I believe in Jesus. And then he said, no, how can you believe in Jesus and at the same time believe in Buddha? Jesus is the only way. And then so then we start talking. So when he say Jesus is the only way, which I think it does not resonate with me. And in that second I realized he is a hard rock Christian. Hardcore. Christian. So in the same time, I don't want to be a hardcore Tao cultivator. When we say Tao is the most supreme in heaven and earth, I think when they do the translation, I mean, originally this book was done in Chinese, and then it's a Singapore team translate that to English. So when we preach, when we spread out, we want to make sure our language is not so hardcore. Go ahead, Robert. Robert, go ahead.
This is just my opinion. I think in the West, everybody throws God into God is everything. In my opinion, Lao Tzu would say that there is a distinction and a difference between Tao and God. And first of all, I think Lao Tzu would say Tao comes first. Tao is first and foremost, was the first to come into the universe, was there before the universe began.
Correct.
Is beyond God. And I do not say this in an insulting way to insult Christians, but there was Tao is not a being, but
I think to them, God is a being. It's a creator. It's a being. It's very powerful. Has so much power. Maybe in the form of energy, but this energy has a shape. To them, God is not. It's not in a way that Lao Tzu understand, because we understand God is inside of us. God has manifestation.
Yeah, many Christians believe Jesus is God.
Yeah, many.
So there is a person. They're identifying God with a person.
It's a person, right?
As a person. Jesus is God.
But this
That's
person is like big, huge, very powerful.
Yeah.
It's a being.
Yes.
If you identify Jesus with love, then I can understand what Christians are saying. If Jesus is love, then any human being, you could be a Christian, a Jew, a Muslim, Confucius, Buddhist. If you follow love, then you follow Jesus. If you interpret it that way, and it's a very wide and open thing, then it's open to everyone. But a lot of Christians don't follow it that way. It has to go through Jesus, the name Jesus.
Well, but I think in the scripture, it's somebody written it as Jesus is the only way that can lead you to God. Follow me, I'm the only way.
But if you interpret that as love, then I can understand what they're saying, because that is what Lao Tzu is saying about Tao. The closest thing that we can know about the Tao is love. That's my personal opinion. I've said that over and over again, and I believe Lao Tzu, that there's this love, and it was there. It has no name. We cannot define it. There's no definition for it. It's beyond anything. The human beings come in the third creation, so to speak. For example, Tao is just a circle. Now, in the West, they would put God in that place. But in that circle, Tao represents this motherly love that was always there, that came before the beginning of the creation of the universe. Then in the second part, there's this, yin yang sign, in the circle, yin yang. And there in the yin yang is male, female, heaven and earth. At that point, we get from not being, we become being and self and God. And then in the third part of creation, humanity comes into being through yin and yang, through God. So God, I think if Lao Tzu was explaining it, I think he would say that that Tao is God before God had a name.
There's division even between among Christians. There's still division too.
A lot of division, right?
Yeah, a lot of division because the Catholic Church, they believe that Virgin Mary is in heaven. She's the mother of Jesus. So the Catholic Church teaches Virgin Mary is in heaven with Jesus. But then the Protestant Christians believe that Virgin Mary is not in heaven with Jesus. Only Jesus is in heaven. And Virgin Mary, they ignore her as ascending into heaven. They don't believe she's in heaven. Only Jesus is in heaven. But the Catholic Church that's where they separate the Catholic Church from the Protestant Church, because the Catholic Church believes that Mother Mary is in heaven with Jesus. Okay, the Protestant, they were the Christians that separated from the Catholic Church in like in the 1700s, like 400 years ago. The Protestant separated from the Catholic Church, and then they started to to adopt the scriptures. The Bible, the Protestant Bible, is the King James Bible. Okay, so the King James Bible is not exactly like the Catholic Bible. So there's a change in the scriptures, but they believe that only Jesus is in heaven. Mother Mary, they don't recognize her as like like a deity. Only Jesus is a deity. Whereas the Catholic Church accepts, honors Mother Mary as a deity, like that we can pray to Mother Mary, and we can.
Is that called the Guadalupe? That's
Yeah,
the same, right?
yeah, it's the same. Lady of Guadalupe is Mother Mary. Okay, Lady of Guadalupe is in heaven with Jesus. The Mexicans pray to the Lady of Guadalupe. Okay,
yes,
as the mother of Jesus, and she's going to intercede for all the people here on earth that believe in her and pray to her. Yes. She will protect them.
Correct.
Okay, that's the Catholic Church belief. So, in Portugal, Mother Mary is the Lady of Fatima. That's the way they see her, because the Portuguese see her as the Lady of Fatima. In, different countries, she has different names, but Mother Mary is the same Mother Mary.
Peter, the Muslims have a split too. Similar, not talking about Mother Mary, but the Shiites and the Sunnis. The Sunnis represent about 80 to 90% of the Muslims, about almost 1 billion people, and the Shiites only about 10 to 20%. The Iranians are part of the Shiites, and they have pictures of saints on the wall, and they at least honor those people that they consider saintly, like sages. But the Sunnis really, really disagree with that. They do not. They think it's idol worship, and they do not like it. That's the split in the Muslim religion between the Shiites and the Sunnis. So it's very similar between the Catholics and the Protestants in a lot of ways. So,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
So I think being open and being tolerant is the answer to, you may disagree with people, you may have your own ideas, but trying to also be tolerant of other people's beliefs helps to solve the problem, even though sometimes we disagree with,
The logic is we can understand what other people believe. We accept your idea, but not necessarily I agree with you.
Right.
We don't have to come into agreement. You can have
Right.
your idea, I can have my idea, but we can still live together in harmony.
Right. We don't need to kill each other because
Correct. My God. Yeah, this is what happened to the world right now. We don't. Okay, then we can let's see, let's continue on. Just have a little bit left. Okay, Giacomo Tienshin, can you let's see.
That's the summary.
Okay, let's do the summary. Giacomo Tienshin, can you read the summary?
1. The heavenly Tao is the one and only way for our souls to return to heaven. 2. The soul is our true self, which is the master of our body. 3. Deviating from Tao causes sufferings and leads us to be trapped in the endless cycle of birth and death. 4. Receiving the heavenly Tao from an enlightened master enables us to reinstate our original nature so that our souls can return to heaven to become immortals or Buddhas. 5. The heavenly Tao is the heavenly secret which has neither shape nor form. 6. The heavenly Tao is not widely propagated when the time is not ripe, and only virtuous people with good affinity would be worthy of receiving Tao.
Thank you, Giacomo Tienshin, for reading our summary. So let's start from number 1. The heavenly Tao is the one and the only way for our soul to return to heaven. Can we discuss this one? Is this the only way?
that sounds very much like saying Jesus is the only way. So
So to me, I wouldn't say when I talk to the Westerner, I this is what I say. I say, heavenly Tao is the way to go to heaven. It's just like climbing going to New York. How many ways are there going to New York? There are thousands or millions of ways. You can take the local street, you can fly China Air, you can fly United, you can fly Southwest, you can take the flight, you can take the train, you can take the bus, you can take the Greyhound. There's many ways, and of course there's a shortcut too. So there are many ways.
and
So
the word Tao means a road. The word Tao means path.
yes. So yeah, thank you. Tao means the way, the path. So the heavenly Tao is not the only way. It's one of the way, and a small way.
It's a good way.
It's a good way. Okay, now let's go. Anything I want to add?
No, just that I feel that I kind of agree with how Robert described how Tao is before yin and yang. Yeah.
Oh.
And stuff like that. So I don't feel that okay. I mean, when talking to Westerners, probably I wouldn't be so absolute as well to say that it's the only way. But I do feel my perspective is that it is the path to return to heaven for our souls. Yeah. So this is how I would.
Can you say one more time? What is your last?
Yeah, this is how I would phrase it. So it would be like the path for our.
Tao is no way, but not the only way.
It's the path.
It's a path. Yeah.
Yeah, for our souls to return to heaven. And if they were to talk to me regarding about like the different religions, I usually will give an analogy whereby how Tao is like the roots and the manifestation of religion is actually all positive in nature, be it the Quran, be it the Bible. Yeah, so those are like the leaves and the branches that manifest in different forms to actually guide people to also like return to their pure and true self honestly from each religion as well. That's how I would phrase it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I remember I have talked to people about this exactly in the same way what Rebecca Tienshin mentioned. It's just like there are different way to go back to heaven. Um, the Islamic way, the Muslim way, the Buddhist way, the Catholic way, Christian way, they are all good way. And Heavenly Tao is the one way, and this is the way that I find it very profound, and so we have all our freedom to choose whatever way you want to take, whatever way.
What do you think about the idea that each of us must find our unique way to go back, to be enlightened, as the book said, that each of us has to, with our own eyes and with our own heart, discover.
And this it's based on our affinity too, because sometimes our eyes we can see so many choice, but we can kind of pick and choose based on our preference, and our preference is based on our habit, based on our consciousness, and based on our karmic consciousness from our previous life. So yes, we can choose based on what we see, how we feel. But again, our feeling, it's all based on our affinity. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And second one, the soul is our true self, which is the master of our body. So talking about master, then if soul is the master of our body, then who is our servant? Our eyes, our nose, our ears, our body, right? Our sensual pleasure,
Or
our speech,
senses.
yeah. All these are our servant. So we have to know who is our master, and our master definitely is our soul. So I want to ask you a question. Some people will say soul. How is soul different from spirit?
They're basically the same, and they're the same, except soul. If soul doesn't exist, body doesn't exist. Body does not create soul. Soul creates body. Spirit creates body.
Yes.
Spirit,
okay, so you say spirit and soul are the same, right? Because based on my previous session, I always mention that our soul, our true self, it can be understood as different terms. Our true self, our inner self, our soul, our spirit. So are these all same meaning?
Spirit,
Essence.
And this is a difficult, really. Spirit, I think of as being like one spirit, the original spirit. But spirit is also soul. But then soul, we kind of think of as individuals too, many souls, and spirit as one spirit. And it's difficult to make a definition for both.
Oh, so you are saying that soul is more individualized, spirit
right.
is wide region,
right.
like energy.
In my view, I mean, if someone has a different opinion, that I can understand that too. So, but it's difficult to define spirit and soul. But I think of it more spirit as being like one spirit, or one self, one spirit. And soul can also be one soul, but maybe we think of it more as souls with a plural.
This reminds me that we always say that, oh, this person is my soulmate, but we don't say this person is my spirit mate, right?
Yeah.
So soul, I think it's more individual.
And soul also is more attached to the body, or more soul and entity, soul and body.
I see.
I
Okay.
don't.
So not much difference. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Robert, for your input. Okay, now let's go to number 3. Deviating from Tao causes suffering and leads us to be trapped in the endless cycle of birth and death. Yeah. So deviating from the path of love, path of Tao. So it's like off track. When you are off track from Tao, of course, if you are off track, then disaster will come. It's just like a train going on the railroad. If the train is off track, then disaster happens. And number 4, receiving the heavenly Tao from the enlightened master enable us to reinstate our original nature. So number 4, I want to say that when we receive the heavenly Tao from enlightened master, I was told that we are not receiving anything because it says that we are receiving blessing. You want to receive blessing, but actually we are not receiving blessing. The master is just helping us to discover our inner self. Although the ceremony is called receiving the heavenly Tao, but we are not receiving anything. It's something that we already have inside of us. Right?
Yeah. So
Just giving them knowledge to know.
yes,
We
it's
to acknowledge, to help us to acknowledge there is true self inside of us.
so basically I would say it's a blessing, and it's a awareness for us to actually be aware of what we have within ourselves.
Oh, be
Yeah.
aware. Okay.
So creating that insight and awareness within ourselves.
Okay. Okay, good. That's a good way to put it too. So it's a ceremony that helps us to gain that awareness, help us to gain that acknowledgement that we do have a true self within us. Okay. And number 5, the heavenly Tao is the heavenly secret which has neither shape or no form. Right? Heavenly Tao. Okay. Number 6, the heavenly Tao is not widely propagated when the time is not ripe, and only virtuous people with good affinity will be worthy of receiving Tao. So, can we say that the heavenly Tao is widely propagated now? In USA, it's not widely propagated. In Singapore, is, but in USA, no.
In Taiwan, it's widely propagated.
Correct.
So
It's certainly starting because of all the suffering that everybody's going through right now with what's going on. There's definitely something going on, and it's going on all over the world. United States